And so, welcome back to AVODA. Today I'm here with IngCorp, Sam and Brian. You guys are one of only 3 companies in AVODA that have actually made revenue before graduation. So congratulations on that. It's
Thank
not
you
an
very
easy
much.
task.
Thank you very much.
So we've watched your pitch video, and so we know quite a lot about your business, I think. But that's a pitch video, right? So we wanted to know a little bit more about who is Sam and who's Brian. And we also wanted to ask some questions that I think investors would want to ask you, if that's okay. So that's what it is about today. Sam, can we start with you?
Yeah.
So you grew up in Uganda, but you spent some time, 5 years
Yeah, 5
in
years
Turkey.
yeah.
What was that like, and who is Sam? What kind of a person has that made Sam?
So I am from the western part of Uganda, and it's known for lots of agriculture. People do it for, to get to their livelihoods, and recently they've tried to capitalize that too. But before it was majorly for home consumption. So yeah, grow up from there, and being in the village gets a lot of memories,
Yeah.
especially with my grandma. Like that one I told you about,
Yeah.
the potatoes.
Yeah.
It's just go to the village and they're digging and there's potatoes, and it's first time going to the village. I'm like, we buy these in the markets, and you guys just
In Kampala, we
dig up
buy
the-
these. You
can
dig
just
them.
dig up the ground and there it
Yeah.
is. Yeah. So that was
Yeah.
fun, and yeah, it was amazing.
Incredible.
Yeah.
And then you went to Turkey, or did you
Yes.
both go to Turkey at the same time?
There was
Or-
a trip to Turkey, a school
Okay.
trip, and then later on I went for studying.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you stayed,
Yeah, I stayed.
and you came back to Uganda.
Yes.
Okay. And so we'll get back to you in a minute, but 5 years in Turkey, what was that like, and how did that inspire you to start IngCorp?
Well, when we first took the trip, we were looking around and we saw the kind of fruits they had, and we saw the kind of fruits we knew the kind of fruits we had. So
In
Uganda.
In Uganda.
Yeah. And looking at what they had and what we had, we were like, if someone young and you're not sure how it's going to work out, but you're like, if they're selling this at this much, how much would they sell what we have? Because it's much bigger, it
As a
looks better
Ugandan.
as a Ugandan. Yeah,
Yeah, you could
You're
tell.
like, because the price according to what they were selling, you wouldn't sell it in Uganda and make a profit. But they had these small pineapples and they were selling them at a crazy price, and I was like, now what would they buy for what we have? Double the price of this maybe. So it kept on ringing in the mind. Yeah. But Turkey is fun. I love being in Turkey, and they have a very small Christian community in Turkey, really small, and there are heavy penalties for, they call them defaulters. Once you leave
Defaulters.
Islam, they would rather have you be an atheist but not a Christian.
Artist.
Atheist.
Atheist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd rather
yeah.
be that.
Mm.
But when you say because I have friends that turned to Christianity, and their families neglected them
Mm.
completely, cut them off. But then others are atheists, and they look at them and like, well, there's still a chance they can come back.
They're neutral.
Yeah, those ones they keep holding. But the ones that
Okay.
cross to Christianity,
So-
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I want to hear more about that, but I want to give Brian a minute to speak to as well. Brian, and we'll get back to that. But Brian, so how about you? You grew up in the same area?
No, actually, I grew up from eastern Uganda. As
Eastern
you are from
Uganda.
the western part of Uganda.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have a family that has a background of agriculture too. We mainly dealt in citrus. Those are oranges and mangoes. But growing up, you realize that most of the things we plant were for feeding immediately, not for sale, because there's no market for them. So whatever we plant, potatoes, we eat immediately, because there's no getting money to buy other things. And taking me back to when I was 6 years old, we were having a small fellowship at home. And then a pastor decided to prophesy on all of us. And one of my brothers was told he'll be a lawyer, and currently he's a lawyer. And then there's another brother of mine who was prophesied on to be an engineer, an architecture engineer. And he is an engineer. Actually, he'll be joining AVODA this January.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Great.
And also with my sister, they'll be joining together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
So when they came to me, they prophesied that I will be doing business using the aeroplanes. So I was like, as a 6-year-old, you don't know how really that works.
Yeah.
So they made fun of me that I'll be selling G-nuts on the streets, sweets on the streets.
G-nuts. By the way, for the Americans and Europeans listening, what is a G-nut?
A G-nut is a groundnut, peanut.
Oh, it's a peanut,
Yes,
right?
yes,
Okay.
yeah.
So they thought by business you mean selling peanuts by the roadside.
Yes, small sweets on the roadside, yeah.
Yeah.
So he clarified, the pastor clarified and said, no, he'll actually be doing his business using the aeroplanes. So everyone kept quiet and froze. They're like, okay, businessman doing business by aeroplanes. So fast forward, about 20 years later,
Let me guess, the prophecy came true.
it came true, right? So it actually didn't hit me immediately. Then during our first shipment and to Azerbaijan, Baku, then...
To Azerbaijan.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yeah, so I sat behind. I didn't know it was going to rain. He sat in front, the co-driver's seat. So it begins raining, and I'm like, okay, now what am I going to do with these boxes? You know, boxes get wet and tear apart. So we decide to cover the boxes, and I sit on top of the boxes while I'm covering them. And it rained on me, and that's when it dawned on me, like, okay, God reminded me, remember this prophecy when you were 6 years old? I was like, okay, now
It took the rain to make you
whips of
remember.
rain.
The whips of rain
Remember,
reminded you of the
Yeah,
prophecy.
so that's how we grew up.
Wow,
We grew up in a very
fantastic.
strong Christian background.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, so I've heard Turkey now, and I've heard Azerbaijan. What other countries have you guys been exporting to?
The Maldives.
Maldives.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's Oman.
Oman.
Yeah.
Iran.
Iran, yes.
And someone said UAE.
Yes,
So Dubai,
yes,
Qatar,
Dubai,
and
yeah.
so forth.
Saudi Arabia.
Is there some reason here? Because you're both strong Christians. You've mentioned about how Christianity is regarded in Turkey during the time you were there, but these are all heavily Muslim countries. And yes, they're good markets for your fruits, but is there some other reason here?
Well, I believe to spread the gospel to these regions where we can reach. Because I've come to realize that these people talk to you more because they have a very secured culture that does not let anyone enter easily. So, but the best way to get into their cultures is through business. You will talk. If you do not have the business to talk to with an Arab man, you won't last like 2 minutes in a conversation. But if you have a business to talk to, and you have a business, there is a way that you will relate and have a conversation and get more teas and So I think that's a very good way to start.
Business is an international language. Wow.
An entry point for that community.
And so you're deliberately targeting these countries so that you can share the gospel there. And you think you have a business that can hold the conversation for more than 2 minutes.
It's food. Nobody
It's
says
food.
no to food.
Okay. That's wonderful. And, may I just say, I'm so proud of what you guys are doing because at AVODA, we've talked about the triple bottom line so often. And you have to make money, you have to provide social good, and you have to have a kingdom building aspect. And this is definitely the kingdom building aspect. And how about the second one, though? social impact. Where do you see yourselves contributing to social impact?
Okay. For social impact, first of all, the farmers, like he talked about, growing up, most people grow to eat. But lately, it has been more of grow to sell. But people are advised more to grow, but, not very much places to sell. So you find that whatever they grow...
Advised by whom?
There are government agents that tell these people to grow, government bodies,
The
private
emphasis is on growing.
Is on growing.
Yeah.
And then you find that at the end of the day, they have much product, so they just have to sell off at whatever price they can get. So what we want to do is we want to get their products and get market for them outside of this economy.
Wow.
And also by that we can get money from outside the economy and bring it into the economy. Plus also try to empower their lives.
You know what? That's probably the most convincing social impact story I've heard that a business can do for especially a country like Uganda, because you are absolutely right. I've heard a lot of people wanting to help, and the first place that they think help is needed is, we need to help the farmers create more crops. But you're absolutely right. What the farmers need is an export opportunity to sell abroad and bring money into Uganda. So,
and most of the farmers we work with, once they know that you're a reliable exporter, you'll always be their number one.
Yeah.
You'll have the product, and someone else will come.
It's a personal connection.
Yeah, someone else will come and like, no, this is for this person, because they know at least you are, you're providing. Like they wouldn't sell that product; they'll keep it for you. Yeah.
Wow. I love your business. It's really good. So, for those of people who maybe haven't seen your whole pitch video, can you, in just 30 seconds or something, tell me about exactly how your business goes? There's a mango or avocado farmer, and then over here you have turkey. Yeah. What's in between? What goes on?
What goes on in between there is, from the farmer, the farmers get some money, we pay them. Then they load the products on the truck. So the truck drivers are also paid money, who will deliver them to the pack house. And from the pack house, there are sorters who are going to clean up the products and package them in boxes. So the sorters are also paid well. And then from the sorters, there are those who are going to load it onto the trucks.
Another truck.
Another truck, to deliver them to the airport.
Okay.
Yes.
So you always fly them?
Yes.
You don't ship them?
We don't ship them. Yeah.
Why is that?
Why? Because Uganda, first of all, is a landlocked country.
Oh, yes, of course. I'm sorry, I forgot about that.
And it takes a truck about 3 days to reach the port.
Yeah.
That's more time wasted.
Yeah.
And these are perishables. And we wouldn't like to spray them with preservatives. We want a client to get something natural, organic, without any preservatives.
And this whole process takes how long? You get it from the farmer, and it would arrive in Turkey
within
air?
2 days by air.
Within 2 days?
Yes, the client has.
Wow. Okay. And how much capacity do you have? How many tons, for example, do you ship or use air freight for?
In a week, currently, we do 5 tons.
5 tons
per week,
of
avocado, only one product.
Of one product.
Yes, avocado.
But you mentioned other products like mangoes,
yes,
or
mangoes,
pineapples,
hot pepper.
So you have capacity to send 5 tons of each, or 5 tons total?
5 tons total per shipment. One shipment.
Per week?
Yes.
Okay. Wow, that's a lot. So tell me a little bit about IngCorp. You guys met, I think, as high school friends, and you started it in 2017, right? And it went very well, right? What was one of the best years revenue-wise up till now?
I think it was 2019.
2019?
2020 was supposed to get better.
It was supposed to get better.
Yeah, because at the beginning of 2020, we have a revenue of close to like 20,000, and that we did in a month and a half.
Yes.
A month and a half, you had 20,000 in revenue.
Yes.
Okay.
And that was
How about 2019?
2019, it was up to 60, 65, 67, around there.
67, 69 around.
Yeah.
Almost $70,000 in
Almost
revenue.
Almost 70,000.
And then the first, you said month
Yeah, a month and a half.
and a half of 2020, you made 20,000
Yes.
in revenue.
Yeah.
And then what happened? No, I'm just kidding. So you're trying to start your business again, and you want $25,000 in loans.
Yes.
Tell me break it down for me. How much do you need for what? And what is it for, ultimately?
So the revenues are high, but actually the profit margins are very low. Because
How low?
Because the profit is like 10%. So for a large sum of revenue like that, and you have a revenue of 10%, that's quite small. So we're trying to look for ways of increasing that profit margin. Yeah, and we believe that when we get the pack house and the truck, it will help to increase on the profit margin.
Really?
Yeah,
Just by getting a pack house
not just that only.
and a truck,
Yeah.
your margins would increase that much?
Yes. Because then,
Tell me how that works.
because we would be cutting on some of the expenses
Yes.
in the long run. Because for now, since we're partnering with other exporters, for every shipment we make, we pay. For every shipment we make,
How
we pay.
much?
So for like a pack house, it's like $30, just a pack house. So in a week,
Per shipment.
yes, per shipment. So in a week, if I have like 5 shipments, that money goes to the owner of the pack house.
150.
150
Yeah, or that goes to
dollars
yeah.
per.
That's just for 1 week. Yeah. So in the month, you might find that these expenses keep growing. Yeah. So
But usually, how many shipments do you ship per month? Let's say
per month can be around 8 to 10.
8 to 10.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is kind of significant, I suppose. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. And tell me about the truck.
The truck, every time the truck goes from the park house, and that is a park house that's close, not very far from the airport, because we try to look out for park houses that are not very far from the airport, so it's easy to go. So those ones charge us 120.
120,000.
Yeah, that's almost the same.
120,000.
Yes.
It's about
It's close to
$30.
$30.
Oh, shillings. Okay, $30
yes.
per
Per route.
Per route.
route. So basically, you're saying for each shipment, you have to pay the pack house about $30 and a truck about $30. And you make, in your heyday, you were making about 8 to 10 shipments per month.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's okay. I can see why your margins would change. Okay, good. So $25,000. Now, you want this in loans, right? And you want to get a pack house. You want to get a truck. Anything else there?
We do have clients. After COVID, actually they've started getting a little too many clients who want to be supplied on credit. But we are very careful with this because we've had some bad experiences before.
For sure.
Really bad, yeah.
Yeah. But okay, so supplying by credit, basically, I'm imagining what that means is that the customer orders and then you send,
Yes.
and then that's the credit,
Yes.
and they pay only after they receive.
Yeah.
Correct?
So we're trying to see how best we can do it and with who. We're trying to be very careful. We are looking at clients we've been working with
Yeah.
for a very long time.
So I have a question about that. So if you are if these are clients you've worked with for a long time, that therefore you can trust with a credit type shipment, why wouldn't they just buy without credit? For lack of, I don't know your terminology very well, but if they've been buying from you regularly, why do the credit route?
They want to increase capacity.
They want to increase capacity.
Yeah.
Their capacity.
Yeah, to order. If before they've been ordering for like a ton or two, now they would want, let's say, like a 3 tons or 4 tons, and if you can manage that, of course we're trying to see how we can work that out. Give us like, let's say 70% upfront, and then we see how we work with that, and then we ship.
Actually, there's a client who was speaking to yesterday. He was doing retail at first. Now he wants to increase his capacity and does more of wholesale over there. So that's another reason why they want to send more goods from us.
And so they want to buy by credit because they don't have that capacity yet.
And most of them were affected also by COVID. They also try to get back to their feet.
Yeah, got it. Okay, no, that's very clear, and thank you for being very clear with that. Now, I guess the big question now, of course, is $25,000 in loans. What kind of repayment period are you looking at?
We are looking at 3 years.
3 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
With a 1 year grace period.
With a 1 year grace period. So what you're telling me is, for the first year, you don't pay anything, and then you have to start paying back the principal and interest, let's say on a monthly basis, for 3 years.
Yeah, but we were thinking in the first year, if everything is going on well, we can even start then. Yeah, because we wouldn't want to wait for the next year to come. If we're making money and we have a payment plan, and we see that the amount coming in can fit the payment plan, I think we'd start even in the first year, just to get the debt done in time. Yeah.
All right, let me give you a tough question. It's actually 2 questions. One,
You answer that.
he'll answer that. Okay, one, what would you do with the money if someone says, I can't do 25, but I can do 10,000? Or, what would you do with the money if someone says, oh, I can give you 50,000?
If we were given 10,000 today, we have 3 clients we can supply, and within 2 weeks, we will have generated revenues of over $20,000 within 2 weeks.
With a margin of 10%, though.
Yes, please. So with 10,000, immediately go into credit shipments, starting with next week immediately.
With 10,000.
With 10,000.
And
So-
also the profit margin when we supply on credit is different. It goes up a bit.
Yes, for sure. It goes up by how much?
Like if we are supplying a client, let's say avocados 1 kg to, let's say, Qatar, we are selling at $1.65 per kg. But if we are to supply on credit, we would sell a kilogram at $1.8 or $1.9 per kilogram.
Yes, of course.
So basically, from 1 ton, we would come from a profit of $200 to a profit of $300 per shipment.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, sort of, yeah. Okay. Good. So that's what you would do with $10,000. The first thing you would do is credit, you're saying.
Yes.
Not the pack house
Not the back
or the truck.
Not the truck.
We would keep partnering with the guys we've been partnering with, just so that we can increase the sales.
What if he insists on, no, I don't want credit, that's too dangerous. I want you to get a pack house.
We would get it.
Could you do that with $10,000?
Yes.
Yes, it's possible.
Perfectly.
It's possible?
Yes.
Would you do that if the investor says that's what he or she wants?
Yeah, sure.
We want
It is
that.
$10,000.
We want that.
Okay.
Very much.
All right. Now the big question, and I'm sure you weren't prepared for this. No pressure. But what if someone says, "No, I'll double it. I like you, 50,000." What would you do, and in what order?
We would first expand our export capacity.
Meaning,
Like, if we are supplying 5 tons a week, we would go to 10 tons per week.
how would you do that? I guess is my question.
How would we do that?
Would you need a bigger pack house or
Yes,
bigger truck? Or?
bigger truck. We would get a bigger pack house, a warehouse, where we shall accommodate all those things. And then also, we would get our own farms.
Farms.
Yes, please. So that we can have goods at more reliably. Because there are sometimes whereby like the seasons are off.
Who would man these farms? Because they would have to be up country, right?
Yes, that's actually would be empowering even the community even more. Because more people.
Yes.
Because
Okay.
there are so many people out there who have so much knowledge in agriculture, and they're just laying there. They don't know what to do with their knowledge. So by us creating more farms, we would actually be employing them to do all that work.
But then you're going back to the argument that the problem is that people are not able to produce enough. But I know this was a trick question, so I'm sure you're going like, I don't know.
But also
but
there's to
I was
add on-
hoping to hear that if you're going to create more farms, that it would be, where you're from. Your family's there, isn't it?
Yes.
But also we're thinking of adding on the Hass avocado as a new value chain.
Come again?
There is
Hass-
a type, yeah, it's
Hass
specific.
avocado.
Yeah, it's very specific. And before in Uganda it was not there. It was in Kenya. But we did a little bit of research, and there are more farms coming up. So, but we are not yet entering into this value chain because we're not yet assured of a stable supply. So right now we're still searching, going to different farms, asking what capacities they have, when they
For this specific avocado.
because
And it's different from a
because that avocado it can go 3 to 4
weeks.
3 weeks before it goes
Yeah,
bad. So
yeah.
you can even ship it. So if you can ship, you can even do like
And you're saying they're mostly in Kenya right now, and they're just starting in Uganda.
actually the farm started some time back. Now the fruits are starting to come up, but we're trying to find a balance.
Grab that value chain before other people do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But we want to be sure that if I'm going to tell a client I can supply
Are they
you,
popular? Sorry,
they're not very
Yeah.
popular actually.
in Qatar or
Yes,
Oman?
Yes, they love them.
They are.
Yes.
They're
Actually,
not-
one of our clients from Egypt, that's all he wants.
Okay.
For 2 years, all he does is like, do you guys have Hass? No. Come back to me when you do. And he goes,
Okay.
and he comes back after 6 months. Do you have us? Like, no. Come back after when. Come back
Even
to
the
me when you do.
Azerbaijan clients.
Even
are
the
saying
Azerbaijan.
Gotcha. Okay. So
Before we're sending our clients to our friends in Kenya. But right now we have the product, so we no longer have to do that. Actually, the Kenyans are coming to Uganda looking for it. It's what the people and the farms have told us.
wow.
Yes.
And yet Kenya
In
is
Fort
the highest
Portal-
export of avocados in
So
Africa.
they're actually coming here to get the product, and we're sending our clients to them. We're like, we've been doing. These guys have been cheating us. They're in our back door getting our products, and then we're
Yeah.
just sitting. So
Okay. So thank you so much, and we're praying for you. So let me just recap. You guys had started your business in 2017. Your best year was 70,000 US dollars per year, but your margins are 10%. Yes, 10%.
yeah,
And you're trying to raise that to
30%.
20, 30%.
Yes.
By getting a pack house and a truck, and possibly selling more expensively by selling in credit. Yeah. And you guys are focusing on a new type of avocado, well, new in Uganda,
Yeah.
for the Middle East. But what I really love about your business is that it is such a clearly triple bottom line business. So God bless you, give you strength, and go get him. Thank you so much, Sam.
Thank you too.
Thank you so much, Brian.
Thank you too. Thank you, AVODA too.